Yes, brother, this is Shay. The video today is about the thought, it's my family's fault, or I blame my family. Let me explain what I mean by that and how it relates to sexual performance anxiety. So if you experience thoughts of these past patterns, it comes from my family, it was the things that they passed down onto me, or it was the patterns that they imprinted into me, so I blame them for that. It's their fault, that's why I'm like this. You know, it may not be those exact words, but along those lines, that you feel the challenge that you're experiencing with performance anxiety or erection problems is somehow related to going back to when you were a kid and this pressure that was put upon you. So if you can relate to that, then I encourage you to and invite you to just stay here for this couple of minutes in this video whilst we talk this through. I'll explain how that happens, what is going on when we say that to ourselves, and ultimately how it keeps us stuck. Most importantly then, what to do about it. So let me give some examples. This may be something like when you were younger, there was this pressure of being the golden child or being the best because you were the oldest, or perhaps it was just you and there was this feeling of pressure to perform, to do well in life. Or perhaps when it came to relationships, when you were at an age before we were old enough to understand what that whole thing meant, is you were told things like, you know, nobody is good enough for my son, or you have to do this in the exact way, you have to be a gentleman, you have to be perfect when doing things like this. And the stacking of these blueprints or patterns that are, I was going to say, these thoughts that are indoctrinated into us, it's kind of like that, because we can't opt out of those thoughts at a young age because they're just fed to us. But if you have experienced things similar to this, and now, like in this moment now, you're at the point where you think, you know, I don't have a great connection with, when it comes to relationships, I find it challenging, that's difficult for me, or performance anxiety, and it just comes from this pressure to be the best, this pressure to perform or to do things in the way that I've been told to do. There may even be religious aspects or cultural aspects onto this as well. So there's so many different places that this can come from. And what we can end up doing when we get into an adult stage, so now, is blaming. And first of all, it makes sense to do that, right? Because trying to understand why has this happened? Why is this happening to me? And figuring out where it's coming from so that we can identify the source. That's a very natural thing for us to do as humans. And I also want to say that, yeah, parts of it have most likely come from, if not a lot of it, has most likely come from things that we've been told when we were younger, patterns that have been imprinted onto us. Though, I also invite you to consider, is this helping? Is this thought of it's their fault, or I blame my family for this, is this helping to actually get it sorted and get it fixed? Most of the time when I'm working with clients, it's not, right? That what is actually going on is it's building this feeling of frustration and resentment and anger towards, I can't believe that this happened because now look how effed up I am, or look what it's done to my life, now I can't do this properly. So we go into this blame state, and that then creates tension, and it creates anger and frustration in our bodies and resentment towards those people. And that's one option. But I just want you to imagine that stacked over time. So if that carried on for years and years and years, you know, it doesn't feel great in terms of the path that leads us to. So we also have another choice. And I won't go into this in all of the details today to just keep this video short. But it's basically the fact that we have a part of us that is our younger self, where we've been told these things and we just had to learn to get on with it. But we haven't really witnessed that part and made it feel like, yeah, that was pretty shit. That was pretty tough that I was told these things. And it's really important that we do that and make that inner part of us feel heard and safe, because my belief is actually that's the part that is reaching out to say, hello, there's still this part of me here that hasn't been resolved from when we were younger, and it feels weird and it feels awkward, and I need to do something about this to clear it, to feel comfortable with this again. This is another option, and that is the one that I generally find in my own life and with clients is way more effective. So what does that mean? How do we actually do it? Well, it's through a set of tools that we do that, and that we clear these kind of stuck pieces of our past so that we're able to move forward. I want you to imagine it as that there's almost like a block in the way that we have to remove for us to keep moving forward in the way that we want to and build in the kind of life that we want. So each week I send out a newsletter that is just for you as a subscriber. Below in the comments, I'm going to leave the link to that newsletter, because in that every single week I share the tools and strategies that will show you how to do this and unblock these types of stuck memories in the past, so that you can remove this feeling of frustration, anger and resentment, and so that you can start having the type of sex life that you want to. So if you'd like to get your hands on those, this is a free weekly newsletter that goes out. Head to the comments below. First step is to click on that link for the newsletter. That will take you straight to the page where you access that newsletter. You put your first name, email in, and then I'll send you an example one straight away with a set of tools on it. These are probably two of the best tools that I've included that you'll get sent straight away. So there's an immediate gift there that will come straight through to you. Okay, so head below, click on the link and get access to that newsletter. I'll see you there.